I'm Brek Shea, and you're watching Atlanta United Fan TV.
Welcome to Tats with Brek. I'm your boy Devin for real, and this is Atlanta United Fan TV. We're starting something new. Like I said, Tats with today's guest, Atlanta United player Brek Shea, and world famous inker Stacey. Ink and Dagger, Roswell, Georgia. Let's get started. So we're getting started here.
It's crazy. I don't know if you feel this with all your clients, but every time I get tattooed, as soon as it starts, I'm like so scared.
Yep.
When it first starts, it doesn't matter.
It's that rush of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh, like, oh, here we go.
And I feel like it hurts so much worse in the beginning, and then like I think your skin gets used to it, or I don't know.
Endorphins.
There it goes.
Endorphins start kicking in.
That's what I was trying.
Yeah, because it hurts and then it's almost like it goes numb.
Yeah.
And then it just feels like somebody's rubbing a sunburn or something like that. But you've got a lot of tattoos, so let's just kind of like go through some of those. Like, I mean, you got obviously your legs. We saw in the video of you running, you know, you have your whole back done. So, I mean, like, I saw the one that you had covered up here, which we'll go in more depth. You have a family arm. What was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo was the dream catcher on my back.
Okay.
And it's my biggest one.
And that was in Texas, right?
It was Florida.
Florida.
I wanted one really bad. I always enjoyed art, so I always looked at tattoos as art, and I guess that's how I convinced my dad to let me do it.
Now, did Dad go with you, or?
He had to. I was only 17, and I had to go with him and get a notary.
Sign-off notary.
Yeah.
So you have 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
And you're married, and
Yeah.
you've played in a lot of places in the past. This is something that I've always wanted to kind of tell our viewers, like, athletes are people, and I think a lot of times people forget that because, you know, there's an elevation that we put on an athlete. You know, so what's it like to play in England and Canada and Florida and Texas and now in Atlanta and have to move your kids around during the middle of the school year and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's hard. The whole process of moving is hard, picking up everything you have, and on the funny side, like when we moved here from Vancouver, all our stuff came in. My daughter's bike wasn't in the stuff, and it's like that was the only thing we cared about.
Right.
It's her bike. She was waiting so long, and her bike didn't come. We're like, we had to go straight to the store and get a new bike. And I'm like, how do you lose a bike?
Right. It's the one thing.
A frozen bike, by the way.
No.
Her helmet came, but her bike didn't. I'm like, some little kid got a free bike.
How many times have you seen the Frozen 2 trailer at this point?
I think when it first came out, we watched it 20 times in a row.
Jeez.
She was like, let's watch the whole thing. I said, no, this is all they have right now.
That's all they've got. My man's a trooper, though. He's seen Frozen at least 100 times.
100. It's crazy. Yeah. It's a
And
good
see, I've
movie, though.
never seen it, so I could say that I've seen Lion King and Aladdin 100 times.
There we
but
go.
that's more my time frame.
Maybe we do another one. We'll go see Frozen 2 with my daughter.
Hey,
That'd
do
be-
it. I'm
that'd
all
be
about
cool.
it. I'm all about it. I am all about it. How have you adjusted to life in Atlanta? I know you said it was a little cold and rainy for you, which will change.
No, obviously I know that. I mean, I just came from the cold and the rainy, and I was
Vancouver.
I really enjoy the heat and stuff. No, I mean, I'm excited for. Like I said, I was so excited to come here. Obviously, this club speaks for itself, and the fan base is incredible, and stadium's incredible. Like you talked about, the training ground is best you can find anywhere in the world. It's
And you've played all over too, so I mean, seeing something like this in MLS has to be a little bit eye-opening, as well as, you know, having played elsewhere in MLS. I feel like Atlanta, and to some extent, some of the newer clubs are really setting a standard.
yeah. I mean, from my 12th and 11th year, it's insane how much all the clubs have grown, but still haven't seen anything like this. This is, I mean, Arthur did it right, and like I said, y'all's last year, 2 years, have done more than most of these clubs have done since '96.
The only other team that you could really compare it to would be like a Chicago Fire, who came in and won the league in their first year. And obviously, we get compared to Seattle a lot because of the size of the stadiums and the fan bases. So it's interesting to hear from a player who's played elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I ask, is because, like I said, our fan base really doesn't. I don't want to say doesn't know, but we tend to really look into our players and see, you know, they follow them exclusively, and when they move on, they follow them as well. Obviously, with all going to Newcastle and everything, there's a lot of.
I mean, I played with him for 2 weeks, and I'm still watching him with all the other guys, and I think it's cool. I mean, from what I learned a little bit and hearing about him, that was what makes him such a great player. He has so much pride in losing the ball. So if he lost the ball, he would do whatever he could to win it back, which I think, is hard to find in a lot of attackers, especially quality ones. You see, which is,
you're active when the ball's at your feet, or you make the run.
yeah, not.
If you lose
sometimes,
the ball,
yeah. But he was known, and you could see he wants the ball. He gets frustrated, which is a good thing. Maybe not found all the time, but
right.
Everyone gets frustrated.
Yeah, everybody gets frustrated. You've played with the men's national team. Who's the best United States player that you played against?
Oh, against or
yeah,
with?
Or like with, or I was say like because you practice against them.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like,
I don't know. I'm a big Dempsey guy. So
I figured as much. The Texas guys gotta stick together. Watchahatchee.
Dempsey's a guy that never met anyone who's truer than he is. The way he was when he was 12 is the same way he is now. Good guy.
He's good, pimp.
Yeah, exactly. Speaks the same way, talks the same way, acts the same way. He's such a good person. But if you talk bad about him, he's gonna let you know that he's not happy. He's just how he is. And I think that was the chip on his shoulder that got him to where his career led
also
to.
played in the Premier League, and came back and did great things with Sounders as well. So
yeah, I can't say enough about him. He's a good guy. I remember my first time getting called to the national team. I can't remember, 17 or 18. I didn't even play, but he knew I was from Texas, and his parents were there, and he took me to dinner, steak dinner, and it was paid for everything. That was awesome. Scared, and he
bringing you in, yeah.
It was cool.
He winged you.
Exactly.
Now, do you feel that you've had or been able to provide that experience for any of the younger guys coming in, like maybe an Andrew Carlton or somebody like that with some youth experience?
Yeah, he's another guy. He's an unbelievable player, and he's a young guy, and he just needs a chance to shine, and I 100% believe in him and that he will, especially with this team.
So growing up, were there any clubs that you followed? Like, what really got you into the sport?
I played everything growing up.
Figured in Texas it would be football. Everything's Friday Night Lights.
Oh yeah, I played football. Kind of off the subject, I remember I played high school football as a freshman, then I was going to residency, and I told my football coach I was quitting football to play soccer. And he said I'll never go anywhere playing soccer, that I could get a full ride playing football.
Thanks, coach.
Running track or something. I'll never forget that. But
motivation or?
Oh yeah, motivation. But
you still hear it to this day?
Still, yeah. But I don't know. I played everything growing up, and I remember sitting in my living room. I always had a ball. That was my first word. My mom never lets me live that down. And it was actually my son's first word too.
Ball?
Yeah. And,
not pelota?
No, ball. And then I was just kicking the living room, and I asked my mom, I said, hey, can I play soccer? And then that's kind of just how it kicked off. And then went from there. And,
the many places you'll go.
Yeah. Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about England. Obviously playing in the Premier League is a big thing for an American, and so few have done it. More and more to this day. But at the time when you did it, it was pretty rare. What was that experience like playing at Stoke? The expectation level and everything. What was that experience like?
I would say, like I was saying earlier, that for me going over there, it was a lot of fun just being in those stadiums, in that environment, and I was like a fanboy, like walking in the locker room and seeing these guys that I watched growing up, and it was surreal, like I just can't get over like being in Old Trafford, or like we talked about went to Wembley once.
Those gasp moments that you just kind of look up
and
like, wow.
That was surreal. Like, kind of got off subject earlier, but Arsenal was the team. I didn't start watching soccer until I was a little older. And like I said, what did you say?
All right, we're done here.
Yeah.
I told you, one rule.
And Eddie, that's really going to ruin it for you.
I don't think that stuff comes across the
This
podcast.
was nothing. Here sucked. This was nothing. Like the sternum is a bone, so I would think that your shin probably felt similar. Because
the shin hurt, but it didn't hurt that bad. It was more like just rattled my whole leg.
This was more about having a guy named Abdiel who weighed about 310 pounds, like with a knee in my kidney and like leaning on my chest.
Hey, that's how you used to tell if a tattooer was good, if he was the size of a house.
Yeah.
So, he worked a lot and he just ate when he could. And now we're all fit. Gotta live long so we make more money.
Eating kale.
Oh yeah.
So do you have a wicked diet that you have to follow? I mean, as an athlete, you're obviously having to stay in tip-top shape. Like, how does Brek Shea wake up and be able to play at the top-notch level of here in the MLS?
I mean,
They feed you.
The chefs at the training ground don't give me. I mean, they might overfeed me with too much healthy food. No, I'm just kidding. It's unbelievable. Like I told you earlier, the food they give us. I get what I ate. What is it? Ham, spinach, tomato scrambled every morning.
There you go.
So good. I don't know how you make eggs good, but it's so good. No, the food they provide is really good. I tend to eat pretty healthy as it is my.
Screw all that. It's Saturday night and it's the off season. Where is Brek Shea going?
Pizza.
Pizza
or
at 1 a.m.
burger.
Okay.
Burger with like an egg and avocado and bacon in it.
So we gotta take him to the Vortex. We're gonna take Brek Shea to the Vortex. He's gonna get a cardiac arrest burger. It's amazing. I mean, there's a burger that they have there that they literally have to have an EMT there because it's so much. It's grilled cheese sandwiches as buns. So, and then it's 6 pieces of bacon per burger, but this one's like the full, it's 4 half-pound burgers and 6 strips of bacon in between, 4 slices of cheese.
Gotta sign a waiver to eat it.
Oh yeah, and they have to have an EMT present because it literally is enough cholesterol to kill a horse.
I mean, I'm pretty, I swear I have the metabolism of a 12-year-old still.
You put in the work, that's for certain.
I mean, I could eat a lot, and it just...
So he's a burger guy. We're gonna have to do Vortex.
I'd say my barbecue, burger, and pizza are my
Have you had Fox Brothers barbecue yet?
No.
Oh, God. You have so much to see. We have to take you around
the
city, man.
That's what the first week I was here. I was driving training and back to the hotel, and I was like, texting my wife. I said, I might be fat by the end of the year. I was like Chick-fil-A on every corner. I was like Zaxby's. I was like, what? This looks...
It's everywhere. Oh. Yeah. Have you hit a Moe's yet?
No.
Oh my God, we have so much to show you.
So I mean, I was in Vancouver where everything's healthy. To find a fast food restaurant is insane. I mean, I enjoy a lot of healthy food, but there's the Sundays where you just want something that's bad for you.
That day off treat, absolutely.
Yeah. And Chick-fil-A is one of those things. So I was like, never could get that.
So we're here at Ink and Dagger Tattoo, Roswell, Georgia. Obviously, the amazing Stacey working with Brek Shea. But I have to ask, is this your first tattoo here in Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's a first, Eddie. First here in Atlanta, hopefully first of many. Now, you obviously have tattoos. So where were some of your, where did you get some of the other tattoos that you have? I know you mentioned you're living in England. Did you get tattooed there? Did you get tattooed in Orlando or Dallas? Like, where have you been?
Yeah, I think I've gotten a tattoo everywhere I lived.
Okay. And the first one was your dream catcher on your back, right?
In Florida. So I've got one in Texas where I grew up. I've got one in Florida where I went to high school. I got one in Vancouver. I got one in Orlando, and one in England. So I've got one.
So it's a must.
Yeah,
it's like a rite of passage. You lived
cool there. Besides the meaning of what I get, I know exactly where I got each one. So it's cool for me to have that.
They call them travel marks.
Exactly.
Timepieces. Yeah, it's like a passport, right? So are you an Adidas guy?
Yeah, I was a Adidas generation coming out.
Yeah.
So I've been with Adidas for a long time. I remember doing anytime a new shoe came out, I'd go to my dad, what chores need to be done so I can get the shoe.
What do you need?
Work all day just to go get these new shoes. Weekend, not do anything.
All right, so favorite boot of all time to play in?
My favorite boot of all time would have to be, they were gifted to me, was, I can't remember, 98 Predator.
With the riffles? Or the red, or just the red.
But they were neon yellow.
Oh, okay. I know.
They were the only ones they made in neon yellow, and they were gifted to me, already kind of used, but from a friend, and it was actually the goalie of my club team. And they were.
The original Predators, when they first came out, they had this riffled plastic on the top that was supposed to make balls.
Yeah,
and then FIFA came in and was literally no. Yeah. It's kind of like Sport had gloves that literally, because I was a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
When you would take they came with this plastic thing on. When you take it off, it literally had stickum on the hands. And I remember FIFA came in and was like, no. So I guess in closing, I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate you taking the time out today. And hopefully we've helped you not think about the pain in your arm. But we mentioned Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we mentioned El Gigante de Acero with Monterey. What is the best pitch you've ever played on?
Best pitch.
Atmosphere, history, all things considered. What is the best pitch you've ever stepped on?
I think with all things considered, I was playing with the U.S. and we played France in the Stade de France in Paris. It was, I never seen anything like that. The stadium completely full. There was more cameras than I couldn't even see when I was walking out the tunnel. I was like this. That was all of it. I think combined, that was.
So on the national stage, it's got to be a Stade de France. Now let's break it down to his Premier League experience. You played with Stoke. What's the best Premier League venue you played at?
This is a weird one for me. I want to say Fulham. Fulham is
Craven Cottage.
just because it's so old, it's so small, it's right there.
It's the Michael Jackson statue. Don't let him fool you.
I just, how long, like you're driving through this neighborhood and all of a sudden you turn and you think you're in someone's garage and it's the stadium. It was just, I don't know why, that one, I thought that was so cool. And they can't tear it down. It's a piece of history.
It's historical, and it's right there on the Thames too. So it's like you've literally got the river, you've got the Michael Jackson statue, and Craven Cottage is a cottage in the middle of nowhere.
And I think the locker room was about this big.
Yeah, yeah.
It was insane.
And
I wouldn't want to play there every weekend, but
there it
experience that, and that was, I think that was awesome.
And now back in MLS, having traveled all over, played with other teams. Obviously, Mercedes-Benz Stadium is otherworldly. What would you say are some of the better MLS venues?
Not Atlanta.
I mean,
obviously
we're spoiled,
Atlanta.
man.
I'd say that no matter where it was. I think obviously, I'm a big Cowboys fan, and I played in Jerry's World, and this one's better. This stadium, the other one I get distracted by the TV. This one, it's almost like it's
not distracting to you?
It's not. Have you been to the Cowboys Stadium?
I have not, but I understand it's a mega Godzillatron or whatever.
You go there and tell me that this one's nothing.
Yeah.
This one, like, you get the information, but you still watch the game. That one, I'm just like this. But I don't know. I mean, I like playing Portland. It's another smaller stadium, but they do it's a lot of fun. I mean,
and there's an LA Fitness Club looking right down.
Yeah, and those guys,
people on bikes.
They started putting stuff up there. I remember last time I played there last year.
I saw them play LA Galaxy a couple years back, and that was before Atlanta United was in existence. And I was like, Providence Park is exactly soccer specific, what it should be. And that was kind of like, I don't know if you got to see any of the times that we had at Bobby Dodd, but Bobby Dodd for Atlanta United was it had that old school college open air stadium feel. And of course, moving into Mercedes-Benz Stadium was just a whole other thing.
Yeah.
What's it like to be in a shared stadium and have your own locker room? Like, you don't have to share anything with the foul. Like, you have your own nameplate. You have your own.
Yeah. I mean, the locker room, like the training ground, like everything else, is unbelievable. I mean,
big changes.
Yeah. It just shows where everything's heading. I hope.
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
It's amazing.
Well, guys, we're gonna check in here at the end. Eddie's getting close. Brek's been sitting like a stone throughout this entire thing, and I can't thank you enough, brother. Cheers. Thank you so much. Guys, this has been Tats with Brek. With Brek Shea. I'm Devin for real. This is Atlanta United Fan TV, and we're going to catch you at the end with the full reveal. So guys and gals, that's going to wrap it up here from Ink and Dagger Tattoo Studio in Roswell, Georgia. Much love to the world famous Eddie Stacey. This man right here, Brek Shea. It's been Tats with Brek, with the man himself. We'll catch you next time.